What up, YouTube? Back at it again with another video. Today I'm making a video about the 10 things that I love about this car. It took me a little bit to get here, but that's because I just kind of crossed over my 1.5-year anniversary with this car, so I needed some time to learn it so I can make a list like this. I didn't want to make you guys a list of a bunch of generic stuff. Like, I wanted to actually live with this car for a while and then tell you what it is that I actually love about it. This is in no particular order. I'm just going to kind of go ham with it. But first off, the thing that I love about this car is it's old. I know that sounds weird, but it's now crossed over to the point where it's cool. And I could never believe that this little old boxy thing would actually be cool someday. When I was younger, I always wanted like a more sleek coupe. It's kind of why I got into like the Del Sol game. It was like, it's just flashier, just like, it looked more like a sports car, right? But then it's funny that as time goes on, this thing's starting to look like a crazy sports car. It's kind of got that, dare I say, that Trueno kind of like, that's just like old school Japanese hot rod looking look. And I love that, dude. And, I strongly feel that anyone can buy a new car. I mean, especially if you're down to put yourself into debt, like anyone could buy a new car. So I don't know, as time goes on, I'm less and less impressed when people bring new cars out to meets, because I'm just like, cool, bro. Glad I get to see the new one, but I think it's way more gangster and way more badass to be pulling up in something like this. This car is just cool, dude. It gets a lot of attention for how old it is, and it's funny. It's kind of counterintuitive to how popular it used to be. Like, everyone used to have this car. You used to see them everywhere. And I can't tell you how many people hit me up going like, hey, I learned how to drive stick on that thing. Or like, yeah, my mom taught me how to drive on that. It's like everyone and their freaking aunt had this car. And it's funny that it's like kind of turning around and it's starting to be something badass. Number 2, kind of along with the oldness, is glass headlights. You just don't see glass headlights anymore. And, pedestrian crash standards, plus the weight of it. There's a lot of reasons why we don't have glass headlights anymore. But, man, so nice to have. These are 31 years old, and other than being a little dirty right now, they're not oxidized at all. They're clear as fuck. And man, any other dude, I know it's not a great example, but my girlfriend's beat up ass Camry here, he's got some oxidized headlights, and it's like 15 years newer, right? So yeah, glass headlights are the shit. Another thing, the third thing I like about this car, I think I covered this in another video, but I'll just reiterate. It's the greenhouse in this thing. And dude, this thing could be even more greenhousey if I would have had the EX model with the moonroof in it. But regardless, this is the most visibility I've ever had in any car I've ever owned. If I crash into something, it's my fault, because I should have seen it coming. Yeah, the visibility in here is awesome. The low belt line for the windows is super sick, how you can just hang your entire arm out the window. I'm pretty short, but like if I was taller, you could probably like put your armpit on this thing and literally like touch the ground out there, like it's little, especially if your car is super slammed. That brings me to the interior. The 2 things in the interior that are killing it for me is, one is the powered steering. I came from a lot of Civics and CRXs, and they didn't have power steering because they were so little and light, so that's fine. But even though they were little and light and easy to steer, it still feels somewhat crude. You're like, turning in a parking lot. But in this car, man, you're just feeling that luxury. And there's something about that golden period of cars that were like this low on tech and this like simple, but then also having powered steering. Like, man, it just feels awesome to drive and really awesome to carve canyons, and it's a little different than your Civic. It's like a little less effort required. And that being said, it's also hydraulic power steering. It's not electric. It still feels great. You get a lot of feedback to the steering wheel, and man, yeah, I'm a huge fan of that. Another thing that I like about this interior, I think this is my 4th thing here, or 5th thing possibly, is this, but mainly the cup holders. It's funny that a lot of people naysay or they talk shit about these cup holders. I have no idea why. I've yet to come across some that were broken. And look, dude, Mine are 31 years old, just fine. Like, yeah, from a first glance, you're like, I don't know about this thing. But like, dude, it's solid, and also it's lightweight. You don't, you need some heavy duty, crazy cup holders in here. And you know what, when you're done, you put it away. And when you put it away, you got this cool ass little tray here. This is great for throwing your cell phone or whatever the hell you got here. Maybe you're rolling up a cig, I don't smoke cigarettes, but be rolling up something. But yeah, so it's cool. Plus you got this little ashtray, and this ashtray's got a light bulb in it. It's kind of those little funny little things that you come across, and you're like, oh, that's cool. This has an aftermarket head unit. I think the original head unit probably looked a lot better, but yeah, I got auxiliary and kind of more modern features on this thing. Actually, I have a really good sound system in this car, one of the best that I've had. But we'll get into that in another video. Let's see. Another thing that I like about this car is the price. The price and what you get for it. It's amazing, right? Like I always tell people, the price of this car is like 20 times cheaper than an NSX, but it's not 20 times less fun than an NSX. I'll tell you that right now. This car is a blast to own and to drive, and I got mine for, I guess, a pretty good deal these days. I picked mine up for $2,000 off the original owner, which is pretty good. But I mean, honestly, even if you found one of these for 35 or even 4 for a clean one, shit, man, even 5.5 for a really, really clean, low mileage one, that's not bad. I mean, there's no questions about this car. You're not buying, a five-year-old car or a new car where there's like a lot of questions. Like, how long is all this shit gonna last? It's like, well, this car is tried and true, and it's definitely gonna last. There's not gonna be any problems there. It's already survived this long. So if it breaks, like, you probably did something. Cool. Another thing that I like about this interior, something I didn't think that I would like, is automatic seat belts. I kind of wish we didn't do away with those in the automotive industry. The reason I really like them is because I don't like waiting for people. So let's say, for example, my passenger gets in. As soon as they sit down and close the door, that seatbelt already starts fastening them in. So I can just start driving away. I don't have to worry about them being like, oh, put the clip in and try to figure out how this all goes. Nope. As soon as they sit their ass down and close the door, I can just start driving because they're already buckled in. It aids to this car being a just a, God, how to explain it? It's like you really get shit done in this car. This car is fast. Like it's fast in the way that if I want to go to the store, I just jump in this thing, barely any warm up time. I just smash, get to the store. I'm not obnoxiously low. I can park pretty much anywhere. Just everything about this car is sprinty. Like you're in and out, you're doing stuff hella quick. The automatic seatbelts sort of aid to that. There's something about it, dude. I'm a big fan. And if they can come and reinvent those again these days, that would be fucking pretty cool. Let's see, I'm ripping through these guys. Let's see. Another thing about the interior that's crazy is how hot the heater gets. That was something I noticed right away. I think newer cars have like more of like a thermostat integrated, so it's like when you turn it, like if you crank it, it probably caps out at like 79 or 80 degrees or something like that. But in this car, like if you crank it all the way hot and you just like turn the fan all the way blast like right at you, dude, you're gonna be freaking sweating. It's like there's no limits to how hot this thing gets. It's like it's completely unlocked to you. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's like as hot as the engine will give you air, it will. If you put it on this setting, it's crazy. Like you put it halfway, like you're still feeling that warmth. Yeah, I don't know. It's like a non-regulated heater. I just feel like heaters these days just don't get that hot. It's fucking crazy. And then let's see. The last 2 items I have are, I kind of covered this a little bit, but it's reliable as hell. It's reliable, and not only that, it's super easy to work on. It's like an erector set. It's like for a kid. It's like if you can figure out all the main components of this car and learn how to work on it, then you're pretty much going to know how a car works, and you can kind of apply that to any other car that you come across. But then after you work on another car, you're going to realize how freaking easy this car was, and it's really, it's pretty apparent once you work on other cars. This car is just too damn easy to work on. And that brings me to my last item, which is the community. The community with this car kills it. There's no ego. There's no expectations. Everyone is just super friendly. You know, like no one's driving this car because it's the best car they could buy, right? You know, they're buying this car because there's something more to it. And when you come across the community members, you just run into a lot of cool people that are trying to help you out, and everyone. It's the love, though. It's the love for the car. That's crazy. It's so infectious. Like when I bought this car, I was having my own situation where I was like, man, is it just me or is this car just kind of like super pretty? Like it's hella good looking. And as I, become more integrated into the community, oh, this guy's getting hot back here. I realized that people fucking love this car, dude. They fucking love it. And yeah, I understand why. It's such a great car to love. But yeah, I guess I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. Somewhat short, but those are my 10 things that I love about this car. Throw any comments down below of anything that I missed or things that you love about this car. Cool. Till the next time, guys. Take it easy, suckers.